Hi everyone, today I want to talk about self-image and self-worth and what are we left with after surgery? So what are we left with after bariatric surgery? And I know for many the benefits outweigh the risks of bariatric surgery. However, that rapid weight loss, even in that standard diet-driven weight loss, so non-surgical weight loss, can actually result in some physical outcomes that the patient, that we're not actually equipped to deal with from a psychological level. And it's so very important to understand that well-being, nutrition, and diet do not solely focus just on food. So not just what you consume, but rather the balance and interplay of many factors in your life to create a sense of health and wholeness. And a big part of this is body image and mental health, especially after gastric surgeries. And that's a lot of what I do in clinic with clients. I love my body. I didn't used to. So don't get me wrong. I love my body. It is adaptable, it's dynamic, and it works a hell of a lot better now than what it used to. And if you want to know more about that, you can actually watch my story, which is pinned up the top of the page, and there's links to it on the website and all of that stuff. But it works a hell of a lot better than what it used to. But there are some days where, and they were a lot more frequent a while ago, but not so much now. But there were some days where it felt that it would have been easier to accept a lost limb than some of the physical reminders that I was left with. And these are the scars that take the longest to heal because they tend to contradict all that I've become as a person, or, all that we become as people. So, one such outcome that shapes, because I'm going to give you an example, an outcome that shapes future esteem and self-perception after surgery for the majority of people are those areas of loose skin, right? And that causes so many people to seek further body contouring procedures to improve their quality of life on both a physical and emotional level. And there's nothing wrong with that. However, in a lot of cases, plastic surgery is considered a taboo, vanity even, So if it's vanity driven, that makes that choice even harder. And even when positive self-image is on the cards, and moreover, this dilemma is experienced by women to a larger degree than men post-surgically, it is a very hard decision because now we've got the guilt of wanting to act in vanity weighted on top of these things. Admittedly, you'd be very lucky to escape this outcome. You'd be very lucky to have surgery and not end up with some amount of loose skin. I'm not one of the lucky ones, I didn't come out of this unscarred. I'm left with small physical daily reminders that can wield great power over me sometimes. On my rational self-love days, I see a lack of fullness and firmness of my skin that I previously had. This little slight pouchy underbelly and a breastfeeder's chest. So I've had babies, that's what I see on my positive days. I see that I'm not as tight and trim as I used to be. And I say trim, but, as tightly packaged as I used to be. Things are a little bit droopy. Things are a little bit saggy. My breasts aren't as perky and as full as they used to be. They're breastfeeders' breasts, It's not dissimilar to anyone who has had children. Sometimes it's slightly reminiscent of, those beautiful native women on National Geographic. Unencumbered by societal pressures to have perky breasts and a tight butt, but they're natural and they're glorious and they're beautiful and they are unique and they're all different. And I see a few things going south that never used to be an issue, like my biceps and my thighs, but the rational me sees these as evidence of my survival. They're the small things that represent overcoming a very great obstacle and a very great reality in my life. But I have to be honest, not all days are rational and driven by self-love. I'd be lying if I said that they were. In those dark days, and those are the days that I dread, and they don't come very often anymore because I've worked so hard to make sure that they don't, but sometimes they do. On those days, those are the days that I can't make the connection between the fluidity and unique form of nature in my own body. I can't see it as beautiful, glorious, natural. I try hard, but it's very hard to make that connection. These are the days where the fact that I am not, nor ever will have the perfect magazine-ready body has the ability to diminish my self-worth entirely. A self-worth that I believed that never was hinged on the physical. On those dark days, it absolutely is. What the hell? You know, the days where rational reasonings get overrun by an over-scrutinizing self, picking and ridiculing every bump, sag, crinkle, dimple, stretch mark, or perceived flaw. And that's the painful truth of it, because these small physical differences are my perceived flaws, and I cannot hide them from me. These days see regret and shame at the forefront, emptiness of form, sagginess of skin, an image that contradicts the inner self-image. They put forward ideas of disgust, embarrassment, and fear, and have the power to shape how we feel and how we do, you know? Like I said, more often than not, I appreciate and love my body for hanging in there for me, for not giving up. But on those dark days, those seldom dark days, those not so frequently anymore because I've done the work dark days, it's not my body that is the actual issue. It's my brain, or rather a manifestation of the shame as my scars or my flaws feel scrutinized by all, not just me. It's difficult to shift this thought process and ground with the knowledge that we perceive ourselves. The way that we perceive ourselves shapes the way in which we are perceived, if that makes sense. You know, one thing that brings me back down to earth is reminding myself that authentic intention and authentic behaviors that are true to our soul's beauty are and will be the focal point for all that see you. So if you act with authenticity, people will see that authenticity and see how beautiful that it actually is. So the question then remains, then how do we move forward with self-love and build a better self-image or a body image for ourselves? Well, the thing is, you have to sit back and truly appreciate and see your body as the amazingly formidable vessel that it is. It's resilient, it is strong, it is adaptable and beautiful, scars and all. Whether it is missing pieces or has a few extra pieces, you know, whether it does not match a conventional or mainstream expression of beauty, it is the perfect package to house you. It's your body. These are the things that shape and make you who you are. So you've got to treat it well, feed it well, acknowledge it and admire it. Kiss its scars. Hug its pain. Be authentic. Be the you that you see when you close your eyes. Not the one you think you see in the mirror. Your anxiety makes your eyes lie to you. That negative voice in here and your anxiety and all of that, that voice is the biggest narcissist you'll ever meet. The biggest narcissist, and you believe them, and they're narcissistic. Your inner voice that tells you and doubts you and gaslights you and tells you, I told you so, I told you you fell. Biggest narcissist you'll ever met. But that anxiety, it makes your eyes lie to you. Look beyond your immediate perception and see the you that you want others to perceive. It's already there. People already think you're wonderful. Understand that it takes longer for the brain to adjust to your changed body. In other words, you may not see your body the same way that others do. Have you ever walked by a store window and not recognized yourself? Have you ever shrugged off a compliment? People perceive you differently. Remember that. What else? Begin the process of stopping or limiting the negative talk. Like I said, they're a narcissist. If all you tell yourself is that how much you hate your body and how much you hate it looks, then it will saturate your every being. You know, it will saturate your every thought. Screw what others might think. You are a beautiful creature, whether you allow yourself to be seen or not. Just remember that. Pick one body part that you like and admire. A little self-love has never hurt anyone. When you become really good at appreciating that part, pick something else. Start at a place of like. I really like my shoulders. I really like my shoulders. Every day I really like my shoulders. You know what? I'm beginning to love my shoulders. You got to start from like to get to love. You know, you can't get to here from here without a little bit of work in between. Right, so start with one body part and then add more to it. If you feel that negative body image is feeding depression, I want you to talk about it. And you've heard that saying, a problem shared is a problem halved. It's because once you unburden yourself of that, you make yourself vulnerable, you make yourself open. That support, that acknowledgement that you need comes to you. So reach out, talk to somebody like me. That's what I am here for. That's what I do. That's what I live for, is to talk to people about how they're feeling and help them break through that shell of doubt that's been holding them down for a lifetime. So talk about it. There is no reason to go it alone. We all need help sometimes. There's no shame in that. Like this one, dress to your body size. Don't hide it. Dress to impress yourself. You are damn worth it. Remind yourself that your body holds the story of how far you've come. It is a perpetual collage. It is a masterpiece, dynamic in nature, so it's ever-changing in its ecstatic display of color and form that will continuously change and add pages to your story. Remember that. Some stories are not for everyone, but that's okay. If you remain authentic, your readers will be too. Your story is beautiful, and your story will appeal to the people that match your energy. So what about plastic surgery? Well, is that, after everything I've said, is that wrong? I mean, it is taboo. So what? Who cares? Plastic surgery, body contouring. What is it? Does it mean that it's wrong to go ahead and do it? Should we just accept and love ourselves exactly how we are and put up with it? I don't think it's wrong to want to fix your mistakes and make change, but first consider the rationale, I think, behind your decision. Is it sound? Ask yourself, is this sound? Will undergoing further surgery aid in the improvement of my mental health and well-being and self-esteem? Will it improve my quality of life? Maybe. Could adapting a new style, getting a haircut or some body art do the same thing for you? Maybe. In the majority of cases, it's been shown to do just that. So studies have actually shown that body contouring and corrective procedures, as well as less invasive methods such as like a new hairdo or tattoo or even a new wardrobe, have the ability to improve post-surgical mental health outcomes substantially, as if removing layers of shame and negativity. Therefore, it shouldn't be discounted or diminished as something as simple as vanity, right? These things could be very important decisions that help you to become whole again. So it's not something to go into lightly, but it's not something to be shamed either. I've been asked, what about me? Would I do it? I've considered surgery. Yeah, of course I have. It could be nice to have a body that I've never had a chance to have before. What would it be like driving that new vehicle? I wouldn't right now consider my body in need of correction. What I see as flaws are in fact quite minimal in the grand scheme of things. I would only consider it not to avoid the appearance of being flawed in anyone else's eyes, but only if it supported the person who endeavors to love me every day, which is myself. So if I wanted to say, for instance, want to get a breast augmentation, and my reasoning behind that was, if I get better breasts, I'm going to be more beautiful, then that is not a good enough reason for me. Because that implies that I want to be seen as beautiful. If I wanted to get breast augmentation and my reasoning behind that was because I would feel better within myself, this is for me, not anybody else, I would like it if I could do that, then that might be a good enough reason for me, because that's something I want to do for myself. But it's difficult. There's a lot of to and fro there in regards to that, because I might debate that if I can't love myself for who I am right now without, needing surgery? And then if I could, what's the point of getting it? So, it's one of those rabbit hole type conversations, but there's no shame in getting it if that's up to you. Just consider who you are and what you're undertaking it all for, and put love in here first to yourself through self-love, feeding yourself well and supporting all the vital components that are the foundation of your well-being. Alrighty, so how do you feel about yourself? I'd love to know. Are you working on loving yourself more and more every day? Do you need help with that? Do you need to find a better relationship with food so food isn't the demon in your life anymore? Reach out, DM, email, get me through the website, biomeintegrativenutrition.com.au. Book an appointment in. I do Zoom, I do in-clinic appointments. Let's hash out all of these triggers, these demons, these issues. Let's start loving ourselves more. Enjoy.